Coming up next on the Culture Soup podcast, there are implications for the way women of color may need to think about moving forward with all of the upheaval that we're going through culturally, politically, socially, and the like. What do you think?
No, I agree. I think it's an interesting time because we're still in the midst of, the aftermath of last summer.
Yeah.
Right. So that's still in the forefront of the minds, especially of many Black women, women of color in this space, because we had this Black Lives Matter movement that took place. And now we're in Black History Month. And I'm still seeing, people say, OK, well, I thought Black Lives Matter. Like what has changed?
What happened?
In the last 6 to 8 months. And many of the voices that I'm hearing are women of color.
Yeah.
Saying, you said that we mattered, but we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it in our offices in our day to day. And what happens outside of the company also happens inside of the company.
Black History Month coming up right now. It's just, it's weird. It's weird.
Like, it's interesting because that's why I said it's 365, because I think this is the great opportunity for corporations to kind of put their money where their mouths were 6 months ago, right? If Black Lives Matter, why are you just doing something for these 28 days?
Yeah.
How are you talking about Black excellence throughout the year? How are you supporting your Black employees throughout the year? It's not just a moment, it should be a movement.
This feeling that we have, especially as a former D&I executive in comms, and you being in D&I, is feeling like, wow, here they come with their programs, their marketing programs, and it just rings hollow. I posted the other day on Instagram about how it felt so freeing not to be chasing down a singular tweet for 2-3 months. This is what we used to do it. And, Fortune 500s, it takes an army to just get a tweet out there, okay?
Yep.
So we would start back in November of the year before, planning for MLK Day tweet.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And it took a committee and it took an act of Congress and all of this stuff to finally get that tweet out on the 18th or whatever day of January it fell on that day. And then there is the craziness and hysteria that goes around. What are we going to do for Black History Month? And you do that for months in advance. And you gather all the celebrities you can to point to and call them, history makers or whatever you're going to call them that year. And gathering up some, the few people in your company that represent a little bit of Black history and show everybody what you're doing. And it's just interesting to be on this side of it. Looking in. First, I have this big sigh of relief. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because it feels performative.
It is performative. It's a checkbox. And a lot of the work that I've been doing in my consulting side has been, I don't do checkboxes. I didn't do checkboxes, which is probably why I stayed in trouble. But I don't do checkboxes, right? Like, what is long-term? What is sustainable? What is supporting the employees that you have there, right? Don't constantly look on the outside for your superstars. How are you promoting and taking care of the people that are working for you day and night? Because we know we are the ones that have to work twice as hard anyway. So how are you doing that? And many of these executives are having aha moments right now. And again, I put it on.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, I put it on PR and I put it a little bit on legal as well, too, because they have been probably the entities within the organizations that have said we just need to be compliant, right? We just need to do the minimum to get by and we're fine. And so there's a little bit of pushback. And I want to be the thorn in people's sides. Like, okay, yeah, we just can't do this checkbox.
The Culture Soup Podcast is a production of No Size Communication, LLC.